Now for solving triangles. There's actually a couple things in this lesson. First of all, we're going to talk about what solving is and how to solve a triangle using trig. But then we're also going to have problems that have multiple steps. And so we'll walk through one of those. But for example, they might say, solve the triangle, which means you have to find all the angles in all the sides. Alright, if they give you, let's say 3 and 7, and then they give you theta here. Sometimes they're going to give you like an angle on a side, sometimes they're going to give you two sides. So let's assess what I still need to find. I still need to find this guy right here. I still need to find the angle, I still need to find alpha. Alright, so to start off, I can find this side by using Pythagorean theorem. 3 squared plus x squared should be the hypotenuse squared. So 9 plus x squared should be 49. X squared, if you subtract 9 on both sides, should be 40. And so x, if I get a decimal, it's going to be a little larger than 6. I get an answer of 6.325. So let's just do 6.3. Okay, so we found the side. Now let's find the angle. Now I have a couple choices. I have all three sides, so I could use sine, cosine, or tangent. And what I'm going to decide is to use the adjacent side and the hypotenuse side. Now I'm setting up a trig function. Tangent of theta is equal to not tangent. It's adjacent over hypotenuse, which is cosine. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, which would be 3 over 7. So to go backwards and get the angle, I need to do cosine inverse of 3, 7. I'm getting an answer, an angle of 64.6 degrees. So we have the theta, and then lastly we use the 180 rule. We take 180, and if we take away 64.6, and we take away 90, that should end us up with the last angle. So alpha is going to be a total angle of 25.4 degrees. Okay, you can see here I've labeled them to the side here. Alright, so that's one thing they might ask for. What you're going to have to do is just do multiple steps to figure out all the sides and all the angles, and don't forget the Pythagorean theorem. The second thing that you might be asked to do, example 2, is to do something with multiple steps. So they might give you a non-right triangle, but they give you two angles, 27 degrees and 51 degrees, and this guy right here is 34. What they mean is this width right here. And they asked for the area. Alright, this is going to take some work. Area formula for triangles is 1/2 times the base times the height. The problem here is that the base is the entire length here, and then the height is that dotted line right there. So this is going to take us a couple steps. Let me put h here and focus on the small triangle here. This is a right triangle, and if I draw it separately, this is 51 degrees, this is h, and this is 34. The right angle is right there. So I'm going to use tangent to figure out h. The reason is this is the opposite, this is the adjacent. So tangent of 51 is the same as opposite over adjacent, h over 34. Now working that all out, I had an answer of 41.986, which really rounds to be about 42. So I'm rounding to the 10th, it's 42.0. Alright, but now that I know that that's 42, I can now think about the other triangle on the other side. That's a right triangle. The angle is 27 degrees, and the height is 42. So why am I doing this? To figure out b here, I need to know what this little part is, so I can add that to 34 and get the whole base of the triangle. So I'm going to call this y here. And if again, I'm going to be using tangent actually here, because this is going to be opposite over adjacent. Tangent of 27 equals 42 over y. I'm going to do the switcheroo, so this is going to be 42 over tangent of 27. And doing that in my calculator, y is going to be 82.4. Okay, so this right here is 82.4. So I had to do 2 trig problems to figure out the things I need. First of all, b now is the same as this plus that. So I can start doing my formula here. 1/2, and 82.4 plus 34 is 116.4. The height is 42. So if I work that out on my calculator, I'm getting 2444.4 units squared. So you might see some problems here where they either ask you for the area, or they just might ask for this side over here. And the idea is you need to think about all these right triangles separately and kind of work your way over by using a couple trig functions.